A very good morning, everyone. This is Dr. Neha Dubey. Today, I am going to discuss one of the very important topic of managerial economic subject, that is the national income. We all know what is national income. National income is the criteria where we calculate it and we can identify the richness of the country. Okay, so we will define it as like national income defines a country's wealth, and this income depicts the value of goods and services which are produced by an economy. This gives effect to the net result of all the economic activities performed in the country. So, how we will go to be find it out? What is the national income? All the productions done in a economic aspect within the country we can consider as a national income. In economic terms, national income can be defined as it is the sum total of the value of all the goods and services manufactured by the residents of the country in a year within its domestic boundaries or outside. It is the net amount of income of the citizens by the production in a year. Where we are saying that the national income is what? It is the all the sum total of a value of what goods as well as services, but it will be produced by the residents within the national boundaries as well as the outside, where the citizens of that particular nation is living outside and earning something. So it will be calculated in a one particular production year. Why NI calculated? The aggregate economic performance of a nation is calculated with the help of national income data. The basic purpose of national income is to throw light on an aggregate output and income and provides a basis for the government to formulate its policy programs to maximize the national welfare of the people. Central Statistical Organization calculates the national income in India. CSO is responsible for calculating the national income. Definition of a national income. The definition of a national income is of two types, that is the traditional definition of a national income and the modern definition. Traditional definition of a national income is according to Marshall, the labor and the capital of a country acting on its natural resources produce annually a certain net aggregate of a commodities, material and immaterial, including services of all kinds, and this is the true net annual income or revenue of the country or a national dividend. Now, the modern definition compile of two subparts, that is GDP and GNP. Gross domestic product. Gross domestic product, abbreviated as a GDP, is the aggregate value of goods and services produced in a country, and GDP is calculated over regular time intervals such as a quarter or a year. GDP as an economic indicator is used worldwide to measure the growth of the country's economy. Goods are valued at their market prices, so all the goods measured in the same units. Things without the exact market value are excluded. Means we can summarize it as the GDP's full form is a gross domestic product. So whatever the production done within the national boundaries is considered as a GDP. Now the constituents of a GDP, it includes the wages and the salaries, rent, interest, undistributed profits, mixed income, direct taxes, dividend and depreciation. Wages and salaries, where the countries having the manufacturing facility, they are producing product. So for producing that, they have to organize the labors and the persons or manpower. So they will provide on behalf of their work the wages and salaries. Rent, if we are taking on a lease the land where we are going to manufacture the things. Interest, on the loan we have to pay the interest. Undistributed profits, where the company do not wanted to share the profits, either they are wanted to invest in for the company for further expansions. Mixed income, direct taxes, which we are provided on each and every productions. Dividend, the shareable profit which the company earn at the end of the year and they wanted to share with their shareholders. And depreciation, it has to be, these are the constituents, so it has to be deducted. Why? Because the assets is not considered at a same value each and every year, so the depreciation value has to be deducted. These are the constituents. GDP at a market price, is the money value of all the goods and services produced within the domestic domain, which we are producing in a domestic domain. The monetary terms value or the economic values we are considered here within a particular year. So GDP is what? P multiplied by Q, where the GDP is a gross domestic product, P is the price of a goods and services, and Q is what? The quantity of a goods and services. The formula of calculation of a GDP is the consumption plus investment plus government spending plus exports minus the imports, where we are taking in our definition the outsiders. So what is that? It's the export minus imports. We have to do that. The denoting factor is the C is for the consumption, I for the investment, G for the government expenditure, and X minus M for the export minus import. Gross domestic product defines the economic worth of a product and services manufactured in a country in a definite financial year. It also accounts for the revenue received by the foreign citizens locally and insufficient income earned by the country's residents abroad. Whenever the measurement of a GDP is at a current values, it represents the nominal GDP as well as the real GDP, which are evaluated at a fixed prices. Both the GDPs are financial tools for estimating a nation's economic development and growth. So here are the some statistical data which you can read it here. That is, I'm going to summarize it. That is, in a 2022 and 2023, it is estimated to attain a level of 159.7 lakh crore as against the first revised estimate of a GDP for the year 21 and 22, that is 149.26 lakh crore. So the growth in GDP during 22 and 23 financial year is at our approx 7% as compared to 9.1 in a 21 and 22. So the nominal GDP or the GDP at a current prices in the year is estimated to attain a level of 272.04 lakh crores as against the 234 in 2021-22, showing a growth rate of a 15.9%. This is the data which is taken by the government side, that is the CSO, National Statistical Office, NSO, Government of India. Nominal GDP. What is nominal GDP? We have taken it as a nominal as well as a real GDP. So the nominal GDP is GDP that is evaluated at the present market prices. GDP is the financial equivalent of all the complete products and services generated within a nation in a definite time. The nominal varies from the real and incorporates changes in a cost prices due to an increase in the complete cost price. Generally, economist utilizes a GDP to change the nominal GDP to the real GDP, which is also known as a current dollar GDP or a change dollar GDP. So what we are saying that nominal GDP is the evaluated at the present market price, and it is financial equivalent for all the complete products and services which are generated and produced in a nation within a particular year. Real GDP is an inflation adjusted calculation. In nominal GDP, we are considered it at a fixed price, whereas in a real, we have to consider the inflation adjusted calculation that analyze the rate of all commodities and services manufactured in a country for a fixed year. So it is expressed in a foundation year prices and referred to as a fixed cost prices. So it is also known as a inflation corrected GDP or a constant price GDP. The real GDP is regarded as the reliable indicator of a nation's economic growth, and it solely considers production and is free from the currency fluctuation. So it is the basic difference between the nominal GDP in a vertical tabular form. So the nominal GDP is the aggregate financial business value manufactured within a year is known as a nominal GDP, whereas GDP was modified according to the changes in the price label. Now what is it? Nominal GDP is inflation without GDP, whereas a real GDP is inflation adjusted GDP. Now communication, the present year prices nominal GDP communicate, and in real GDP the beginning year prices or the regular prices. Worth, nominal GDP having the high worth as compared to the real one. Uses, the compares different quarters of a particular year, and it compares two or more financial year. Now the financial growth analyzing is not it is easy, and real GDP measures the economic growth in an excellent manner. So this is all about the national income first part, that is the GDP. Okay, in next part we will discuss about the GNP. So thank you and have a nice day.